Perfect. Let me put this here real quick. Put that. Pin this. All right. I gotta get my AirPods. Forgot about that. Ah, fuck. Sorry about that. What's up, guys? What's up? I understand today, man. A lot of data. Hold on, put my AirPods in. You guys hear me? Everything's good? Good. You hear me? I gotta say something if y'all can hear me. Kick this chair out the way. All right, here we go. All right, so we good. A lot has come out today. We can hear you perfect. Appreciate you guys for showing up as well. Welcome to Trade Talk Tuesday. Before we get started, I'm gonna say this right now because I'm probably gonna start going in. Crazy day in the markets is what? Crazy day in the markets. All right, so for starters, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, disclaimer: anything and everything said here today is for entertainment purposes only. Do not act on any of these things without speaking to your financial advisor or do your own research. So with that being said, I had to get that out the way. Because I already know I'm going to say some shit and just to make sure I don't get sued or blah, 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 any of that stuff. But a lot has come out today. For starters, the market has fucking tanked on the Dow Jones alone from wick to wick. It actually closed over 1,600 points that it dropped. Crazy. I called this sell in my Discord. Check out the video in my story. I posted it. You should be in my Discord. You're playing yourself if you're not in it. But besides that, though, yeah. So we did have CPI that came out this morning. It came out worse than expected. I'm going to go over that. I'm going to go over... I want to really strive away from politics because I've noticed that when I speak about politics, my number of lives starts decreasing. So I want to strive away from that. But I also want to speak on the importance of that. I want to speak on the importance of unemployment. I'm going to give you guys the truth about unemployment, all that has been going on. I'm also going to give you guys CPI, why this is so important, and also why this is how it's going to affect your money. So I'm going to talk about a lot of that stuff. So let's go straight into it. So for starters, CPI came out worse than expected. Right now, I'm going to make I made a reel. I'll probably post it out obviously when I'm done with this. But the reason why it's so important how it's going to affect the money is because of this. Now, CPI came out early this morning. Now, the expectation was month over month. So you have two numbers that comes out, right? You have month over month and you have year over year. So month over month, self-explanatory. That means that if inflation is changing month over month. Let me circle it. I'm hyped right now. I'm doing too much, but I'm hyped right now. All right, so let's circle all the way back. All right, so now going back, CPI. CPI means Consumer Price Index, and all that pretty much means is if inflation is increasing or decreasing, right? So that came out this morning at 8:30, and the market tanked. As I just said, the Dow closed above 1,600 points down today alone. It's more of that. The S&P was down, I believe, 3%. NASDAQ, I believe, was down 4%. So across the board, your assets was down, right? Crypto was down. Crypto is still down at that. Bitcoin is currently at 20,000. Ethereum, let's see what Ethereum price is right now. Ethereum is currently 1586. This shit not even done tanking. It's not even done tanking. Ethereum is definitely going to 1100. I've been said it right now. We sit on support of 1581. But we're going to 1100. But that's not what we're talking about right now. Let me actually go into this. I'm all over the place, but we're here right now. All right, so when CPI came out this morning, as I said, you have two numbers that came out. You have month over month, and then you have year over year, right? So month over month came out. The expectation was for, what am I doing? It's right here. The expectation was for minus 0.1%, but the reality that we got was plus 0.1%. Now, you also have year over year. So year over year, if you exclude food and energy, year over year, the expectation was 8.1%, but we got 8.3%. Now, the reason why it's such a bad thing is because, for starters, whenever you're dealing with things like inflation or any of this stuff, you want your expectation, you want it to be lower than expectation, right? So if we come out and we're higher than the expectation, that's not a good sign, because that means that obviously we're wrong, and if the economists are wrong, it's not good. And that's the reason why we tanked in the market. Now, for starters, you may be saying to yourself as well, like we had, let me actually read the numbers down. At first, we had inflation was, it was first 9.1%, then it dropped to 8.5%, and then it actually dropped to 8.3%, which is currently now. So a lot of people may be saying to themselves, like, if inflation right now is currently 8.3%, then why are we not celebrating that, right? Because it's lower, right? We was lower from 8.5%. But the reality about it is this. Yes, the actual inflation is down, but we look at the core inflation, it's not down, right? So I actually wrote all the numbers down. I'm going to read it. And then from there, I'm going to break it down and show you guys why it is going to be so important and what the Fed's going to do about it, because that right there is important for your money. So going back down to this, where's the first one I want to go over? I'll go over this. All right, so fuel oil, that was actually up 68.8%. We have gas and utilities up 33%. Gasoline alone is up 25.6%. And funny enough, gas actually saved it, right, for it not being such a drastic number, because you guys already know, right, that month over month gas has been dropping. If I actually pull up the price of gas right now, currently it is 87.56 per barrel. So month over month, that definitely did drop, right? Last year it was higher than that. Year before that was higher. So yeah, gas actually saved it for not being worse than it currently is. But besides that, we have food at home. It actually increased 13.5%. Electricity increased 15.8%. Transportation increased 11.1%. New cars increased 10.1%. Food away from home, it actually increased 8%. Used cars was plus 7.8%. Shelter was up 6.2%. And this is why it's so important. So on February 21st, the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, FOMC, right, that happened September 21st, they're going to come out and they're going to raise they're going to raise rates by a minimum of 0.75 basis points. And the reason why this is so important is because, well, two things. For starters, people are confused about, like, if they're going to raise interest rates by, like, 0.75% basis points or not. And they're definitely going to do it. They're definitely going to do it. This right here is a no-brainer because inflation was so bad. I haven't finished breaking it down. But why it's so important for you to understand about September 21st is for this. Every time you raise inflation, every time you raise interest rates, that's not good, right? So we're doing it to fight inflation, but in reality, it actually raises inflation. And the reason why it does this, if you raise interest rates, you're going to raise mortgage rates, right? When you raise mortgage rates, it's going to cost more for your mortgage. When that happens, it's going to cost more for your rent. So currently, rent right now is north of $2,000 nationwide. As we keep raising rates, that is going to increase. So, people, they get excited about raising rates, but in reality, it's like it's not a good thing. That doesn't help out inflation. Hold on, Drew said, people need to also realize that a lower previous CPI doesn't mean that consumer price has gone down. They're still rising just previous. Yes, that's another thing as well. It's like, a lot of people get caught up, again, as Drew just said, like, just because inflation kind of decreased a little doesn't mean that it actually did decrease. No, inflation is going to continue rising. And one thing about it is that we keep sending money to Ukraine, which is money laundering. But we keep sending money to Ukraine. That alone is going to increase inflation. So we've been sending them money like this entire year, which is crazy enough because we got people in Mississippi, in Jackson, Mississippi, they're drinking like dirt water. But we have enough money to send to Ukraine. It's not inflation, it's money laundering, but I'm not going to get into that on this call. But besides that, though, like the impact on inflation that we got from sending to Ukraine all this money, we're going to see that towards the next quarter, if not the first quarter. It is money laundering. That's what the reality is. Like, come on. Why do we need to send them like these billions of dollars? It's ridiculous. Funny enough, I think I spoke about this weeks ago. The money that Trump asked for to build the wall, we actually sent Ukraine. This year alone, we sent them more than what Trump asked to build the wall. Very ironic. But besides that, yeah, I want you guys to really focus on that. Like, this is not going to be good for your money. And then on top of that, we're already in a recession, right? So we keep getting told that we're not in a recession or it's like it's going to happen next year. Motherfucker, we're in a recession right now. And what's funny enough is that the same shit that happened last time was we was in a recession for like a year. And then they finally announced like, hey, we're in a recession. We've been in it. That's happening right now as well. So it's like, you don't need them to lie about the data to show that we're in a recession. You can clearly see that if price of everything around you is going up, your paycheck is not going up, right? It costs obviously that's inflation. It costs more for you to actually go live in. People are losing their jobs. unemployment is increasing. Oh, I want to talk about unemployment as well. Unemployment is increasing. So all these things are showing you that we're in a recession. And then on top of that, GDP growth decreased as well, 2 consecutive quarters. That's a recession. So it's like, I don't give a damn what type of, y'all try to like finagle numbers or finagle descriptions. This is a recession and it's going to get worse and worse. As I said to you guys, weeks over weeks, like I personally feel as if, for starters, this is a fall of this nation. Like it or not, this is a fall of this nation. We also in a fall of us losing reserve status, in which I thought it was going to happen years from now. I think that we're going to lose our reserve status maybe next year. I think the latest is 2024. I don't see us going to 2025 with the reserve status. But besides that, though, like, one thing I wanted to actually talk about when it comes to inflation, right? And something I actually just looked up, and I thought this was really cool. Well, it's not cool, but it's something that you should got to pay attention to. So after adjusting for inflation, the average American worker is getting paid 2.8% less today than they were just a year ago, right? So in layman's terms, you are now getting paid less today to do the same exact or the same amount of work that you was doing last year at your job. And that right there is not a good thing, right? So it's like, it also sucks because like, if you really want to break it down, you have inflation is rising month over month, year over year, right? The average pay increase is rising. I believe it's now 3.2% nationwide. So like inflation is over 8%, right? But then on top of that, you have your actual pay increase is 3.2% or 3.3%, one of the two. So it's like, come on, it's so lopsided. But I digress on that topic. Definitely want to break that down. And what's important about it is the fact of this, like, majority of people, what they do, they wait until, like, not just news happens. They wait until things get bad and then they start reacting to it, right? Just like the old saying goes, people don't plan to fail, they just fail to plan. That's across the board. That's anything, right? So it's like some people look back and they say to themselves, oh my gosh, like how am I at this where I'm at in life and so forth? Like the thing about you just failed to plan correctly. But hold on, let me read some comments before continuing. People's salaries haven't adjusted to inflation. No, they have not. They have not. And that's something that's funny too, because like the average salary is 56.3K, right? And that's before taxes. So when you adjust to tax as well, the average salary is not 56.3 thousand. The average salary, if you adjust to with taxes, doing the math and stuff, I'm not accurate, but it's around 39 or 41 is the average salary. Where you live in America in which you can actually be good with that. Like, come on, man. The average rent is about $2,300. The average mortgage is north of $2,500, right? That alone is ridiculous, right? I think nationwide now gas did a little decrease, but still, it's like if you do the math on that alone, you're going to be fucked over. Like, you got to pay for utilities, you got to pay for rent or mortgage, you got to pay for taxes, you got to pay for your phone, you got to pay for Wi-Fi, you got to pay for streaming services. Well, those things aren't really like, set in stone that you have to pay for. You can just use somebody's passwords. But think about that. All the stuff you have to pay for, then you got to live your life, right? All these things, it's a reason why credit card debt has increased. And then on top of that as well, like credit card debt alone, we actually hit another all-time high. So this time, the all-time high we hit in credit card debt is $930 billion. And credit card debt last quarter, it increased 13%. So just think about that. And the real reason why credit card debt is increasing is because the average American worker or the average American individual, they can't survive with their paycheck alone, right? So they have to go into more credit card debt just to make ends meet. But I know I'm talking really fast, and I know it's kind of delayed. Let me just read some comments real quick. Slaving for $1. Yes, it actually sucks that people are slaving for $1. I mean, obviously, I'm a day trader, so I'm going to promote day trading. It makes, it's the best way to go about doing so. You can make a shitload of money in like a few minutes. It's kind of ridiculous. It actually should be illegal, but hey, I don't know what I'd be doing if it wasn't. All right, this is pretty controversial, but I actually don't think the recession has actually started yet. If we're also referring to reduction in labor markets, I'll send you something later. Drew, I've been meaning to get you on here for like the longest. I would love if you would just request to be on and we could talk about that. I would definitely love for you to do that, Drew. Corey said home prices have went up anywhere from $150,000 to $250,000. Some homes that were around $360K are now well over $450K. Yes, it is ridiculous. So, me personally, as I told you guys, I think last week or the week before, I think I told you guys last week, I'm on a buying freeze because I don't think that the markets are done dropping. I actually paused out my dollar cost averaging as well. Across the board, I'm actually on a buying freeze. There are a lot of people who are like, they're also saying that, now's the best time to buy a house, buy before rates go up and so forth. I don't agree. I personally think it's not a wise decision to buy houses right now. And then on top of that, right, you also have the fact that even like the whole Bank of America situation. I don't even think I actually like really dive deep into that because a lot of people, especially funny enough, a lot of real estate people are saying that that's actually a good thing for black people, but it's really not. It's actually a very terrible thing for black people. And what's gonna happen is like what happened before. We're gonna get blamed for the housing market, right? These ninja loans and all that stuff as well. And it's like when the market crash, we're gonna be in more debt. So it's really not a good idea. But let me finish reading some of these comments before continuing. It's crazy out here. Everyone living in poverty and they don't even know it. Yes, yo, it's so ridiculous, man. It's damn. I wish I could pin that comment, man. I wish I could pin that comment. That was a great thing. A great thing you just said. Like, majority of this country is living in poverty. Like, America is a third world country that wears Gucci belts. Literally, though. Like, if we're not doing good, we're not doing good across the board. Financially, we're not doing good. Education-wise, we're not doing good. And then Biden got the audacity to come out this morning. He said, talking about that, there's not a single American airport that is in the top 25% across the world. You know how much priorities that we need to worry about? Like, we're not like top, when it comes to major stuff like education, finances, well, finance is different because we have the world reserve currency. But when it comes to education and all the important stuff, we're not top 15%. So like, that's more of a priority than the airline alone. But we focus on the wrong things, man. I'm telling you. We focus on, well, it's about division, right? Because it's easy to conquer somebody when you're divided, right? If you look at nations and other races and ethnicities that's actually come together, right? It's difficult for you to actually break them down. But us, you if I tell somebody I'm a Republican, a Democrat is gonna hate me. If I tell somebody I'm a Democrat, a Republican's gonna hate me. So it's very interesting how that plays out. It's very idiotic as well. It's like, who cares? If that's what you want to vote for, that's what you vote for. I sold my car just to make it to the wedding, and it's not serious to me because I'll get another one, but that killed me seeing it leave. Yeah, bro, I get that. It's going to kill you seeing it leave, but you got to think about it like this. Paying for Uber is actually cheaper than, Uber and public transportation are actually cheaper than buying a car. People don't realize that, though, but like when you have a car, you have to worry about gas, you have to worry about parking if you live in that type of state or area or the metropolitan area. But not even that alone, right? You got to worry about gas. You got to worry about car expenses. You have to worry about your car note because the average person doesn't even pay their car from full. So you got to worry about the car note. You got to worry about car insurance on a monthly basis. So when you actually do the math, and again, this actually came from I used to do Uber years ago. Crazy enough, I don't even tell the story, but I used to do Uber years ago. And when I was doing it, I would tell people all the time, it makes even doing the math on where they have to go to different locations, you're gonna save money across the board if you just take public transportation, Uber, rather than having a car. You don't really need a car. Well, some states you do, but states like New York, you don't need a car in New York. Jersey, you don't need a car. It's states that's close together and jam packed in. When buildings are built up, you don't need a car. When it's spread across like Georgia, right here in Georgia, you do need a car. It makes more sense because we build, well, not we. Well, Georgia and places like this, they build out. States like New York, they build up. So like New York, Miami, states that build up or locations that build up, you don't need a car. It actually makes more sense for you to do public transportation and for you to worry about taking Ubers, Lyft, and so forth. Hold on, let me see something else. Middle class is near poverty level. If you're not making 100K per year, you're about to feel the wrath. 100K is shit. No, I actually don't agree to that. So the reality about it is this. So the middle class is actually on track to be obsolete. It's going to be between the haves and the have-nots. That's it. Either you have money, you're part of the rich, or you don't have money, you're part of the poor. That's what it boils down to. So 6 figures, and you hear this all the time, 6 figures ain't shit. It's really not. Making 6 figures, it sounds cool and everything. Well, obviously, when you get higher up in it, yeah, it's great. But 100K, it's really not. It's really nothing. And it's so crazy that think about this, guys. The average cost of inflation, all that as well, is it's showing as you need way more than 100K. You need way more than that. You need way more than that. I'm not gonna break all those numbers down by individual. But besides that alone, right? So, damn, what was I just getting ready to say? Shit. What was I just getting ready to say? I was going to say something about inflation. You said 100K. Hold on. You said 100K, and then I was going to say, man, what was I going to say? It's going to come back to me. Let me read some more stuff, more comments. Say less, bro. We'll talk. Ask myself. The U.S. has been past terms of healthcare, education. America is not the ideal. No, America is not ideal at all. Like, we're not. And, I mean, we think that we still live in the 80s or like the early 90s. Like, no, we've been past that. But besides that, though, something I thought that was interesting is that for 27 straight months, right, inflation has been increasing. And it's just very ironic that, I mean, again, let me not get into presidency, but I mean, for Biden's presidential term, inflation has been increasing. Let me just say that, month over month. I know all right, so I'm not going to talk about politics, so let me leave it at that. But yeah, so I think that's very interesting. I also think the fact that, like, Ethereum being down so much right before, the merge that's happening, I believe it's happening. Is it Thursday? I believe it's Thursday. The merge is happening. And for Ethereum to be down so much is not a good sign. Currently right now, as I said to you guys earlier, Ethereum is sitting above. Are we sitting above it? Oh, no, we're actually on it. So Ethereum is 1566. It's still dropping. But the key support on Ethereum is actually 1581. So if you guys look at Ethereum, I mean, I think Ethereum, as I said, I think Ethereum is going back down to 1100. The exact number is 1035 is my exact number on Ethereum. Making six figures ain't shit. In states like California, New York, yeah, really not. In New York, possibly Florida, but in Tennessee, my state, and many Midwest states, six figures is solid. Well, good you said that. That's a good point. It does matter where you're at. And as he said too, states like Tennessee, like, yeah, making six figures is going to be more ideal. However, as I said, like the major states in which, like, the more population are, like states like as we just said, Florida, which is Miami, which also Miami is the number one most priciest place in this state. What's up, bro? Not the state, in this country. So it actually surpassed California across the board. Not even like Los Angeles or San Francisco. Across the board, it passed California. So I believe New York is number 3, Miami is number 1, San Francisco is number 2. Yeah, as I said, New York is number 3. I'm not sure the 4, 5, and 6, and so forth, but that's something to pay attention to, guys. But no, as I said, like it's a lot that's going on. A lot of data out today. We also got PMI tomorrow, and I don't think it's gonna save us. Like this, it's crazy because we're living in the fall of our economy. I mean, it's been falling, but we're living in it, and people are still not caught up that we're living in it or that we haven't even have a fall. It's really crazy. But as Drew said, Drew doesn't think we're in a recession yet. So I can't wait to actually talk to you offline, and then we can talk here online, because I think we're definitely in a recession. And I have an idea of what your data is and why you feel we're not in a recession. So I want to really dive deep on that. I really do, because I know the info you're talking about and the data you have, and I think a lot of those numbers are not true. So we're going to have some fun with that as well. But speaking about unemployment and talking about inflation, one thing that I want you guys to also be aware of, right? So it's like, we keep saying that that unemployment is is decreasing, but that's not really true, right? So there's two ways that we go about factoring unemployment. We have something called U3 and then U6. So the U3 data on unemployment, that right there is what we use nationwide to determine what unemployment is. The thing about it is that U3, it boils down to this. It's like if you're someone who's actively looking for a job and then you just stop, then that's it. It doesn't really count you no more, right? However, U6, when that one right there is the more serious one, that's the one I think is the real unemployment numbers. That shows if someone is actively looking for employment, if they stop looking for employment, if they have a job but they're looking for higher employment, higher salary, if they have if they have a degree. Let's say you have let's say you're in a medical field, right? You have a medical field degree, and you're now working at McDonald's, right? Obviously, you're looking for better pay, right? So the reason why, that's also calculated within it. And that number keeps rising month over month. And the fact that U6 keeps rising month over month, but U3 is not rising, which is, again, as I said, U6 is the real unemployment numbers, that also shows you how bad this economy is. Like, I don't think this economy is getting better. I think this economy is shit. I think we're getting into more shit of an economy, and I think we're going to eventually go into a depression. I actually think we're on track to surpass the depression. Yeah, I actually do though. But man, that's a lot of things I could talk about. I could talk about things going on with China. I could talk about, man, it's a lot. It's a lot just flowing. But let me read some more comments. So, all right, Corey said to Jew, that's basically what I'm saying around the areas that, okay. All right, Drew said, what are your thoughts on what's happening in China? Oh, wow. That's so funny that I didn't even mention that. I said China, then you said that. All right. What are your thoughts on what's happening in China, and how would that affect the U.S.? And all right, so my thoughts on China is this. I do think that that's actually starting with the global recession that we're happening. So if you guys don't know, the things that are going on in China, for starters, the main reason why oil has been decreasing is because of China. So we keep thinking that it's because of, like, the deal with like Russia or like Saudi or all of that stuff as well, but that's not actually true. The main reason why oil has been decreasing is because of China. So China, they have China, what's going on over there is a lockdown, right? So lockdown in China has been increasing. Now China, they use I believe it's 15 or 50 million barrels of oil per day. So if they're on heavy lockdown, that's supply and demand. So if they're no longer using those barrels, obviously, the price will decrease, as I just said, supply and demand. So that's going on with China. You also have the fact that China's real estate market is pretty much crashed right now. China's economy overall is crashing right now as well. Now, what I think about it is how it's going to affect America is that I think that we're going to have a global recession, and I think that this is going to be it's going to start circling down or trickling down to America. Now, one thing about it is the fact that even with the ECB, for them to raise rates, so ECB is the European Central Bank, for you guys who don't know, right? So let me just say this real quick before I actually break all that stuff in. So the ECB, right? Every high economic power, they have their own central bank. So ours is the Federal Reserve. That's our central bank. That's the ones who determine rates if things are going to be increasing, decreasing, and so forth, right? So the ECB is the ECB, Euro Central Bank. So they determine their own rates. So they rose their rates, I believe, last week by 0.75% basis points, and that nobody really saw that coming. They didn't think it was going to do it that high. But that right there is not good because, again, as I said, things are going to start trickling down. And as of right now, the dollar is strong, but I think that we're going to start to see a turnaround with that. So again, circling your question and answer in circle. I think once we start seeing that trickle down, I think that we're going to have prices that are going to increase. And as those prices increase, you're going to have business owners that they're doing right now. A lot of businesses are on hiring freezes. So I think that's going to increase. I think once that continues to increase and we're going to have unemployment rise, then from there it's going to have a deeper, worse recession. An entrepreneur, surgery, or sports. I'm not sure what you said. All right, U6 is all that you just said, but also for people who's looking for jobs under a year, they don't count people that have been unemployed over a year. They put in yeah, that's true. So all right, so he said U6 is what he said U6 is all what you just said, but also for people who's looked in for jobs under a year. They don't count people that have been unemployed over a year, which is true. They put in the not in labor force category, and that's true. And even that too, the not in labor force category has also been increasing. So it's you have all this data that's showing us that these things are increasing. So again, even with that as well, I think that if you look at the real data, real data, I mean, I think it's shit, and I think it's gonna get worse and worse. But I feel I've been rambling. Not rambling, but I just really just caught my breath. And I've been going in. And again, I'm not excited. I had a good day, great day in the markets it's not a great day. The markets dropped. But again, if you take advantage of the sell, you made money. But besides it as well, as I just said, the dollar has been rising. So across the board, dollar rising. Current price on EU currently is, we still under $1. So that's actually something that's good. So the euro is still under the peg to the dollar right now. We are at currently 99 cents per dollar. So what that means is this, right? If I was to go to Europe right now, I got to make a reel about this. I keep saying it. But if I was to go to Europe right now and I exchange my dollar for the euro, normally it will cost me more, for the dollars for me to get some euro. But as of right now, we're currently at 0.99 cents. So what that means is that the dollar is actually more valuable than the euro. So if I go to euro right now and I exchange it, I'm gonna have more money to play with than anything else. And that's actually interesting as well because I'm pretty sure you guys already know, like, it's great. Like, the financial markets is great, especially Forex, when you know how to trade it, as well as, like, when you utilize it to go travel. So like Mexico right now, the Mexican peso is less than the dollar. So if you go to Mexico, your dollar's gonna go further. Same thing if you go to like Thailand or any place in Asia, right? Your dollar's gonna go further. And that right there is beneficial because, again, like, you want to go to places in which your dollar makes the most sense. It's gonna last you longer than anywhere else, right? So normally, as I just said, too, like going somewhere like Europe or even Great Britain, your dollar's not gonna go long in value, right? So you're gonna actually send them a lot more money going to those places. So little cheat sheet. If you're trying to travel as well, just check the market. You can go to like tradingview.com and you can type in whatever you want, right? You can type in Euro USD, right? So what that shows is the euro price of USD. You can do USD JPY. That shows the dollar price to the Japanese yen. You can do Hong Kong's currency. You can do the Baht, which is Thailand's currency. So it's just beneficial for you to go about doing so. All right, so we have Drew said shadowstates.com goes more in depth on that, and we're gonna definitely have a talk because I'm still long on the DXY. Let's see the DXY right now. So the DXY, for those who don't know, is a dollar index. So, oh wow, okay, the DXY actually rose up to, we're actually at 110 exact. Okay, okay, I see why you're still long. We're currently at the resistance though, but that's tough. That's tough, bro. That's tough. Yeah, we gotta talk about that. That's tough. Cause for you to be at the DXY right here, you're still long on it. That's tough though, bro. I'll wait for that resistance break. You had to get in early. For you to still be in long term now, you have to either get in early. That's tough. It's tough. But yeah, so this is going to be great. Another thing as well, guys, this Saturday, I'm going to be flying into New York, and this Sunday, I'm going to be speaking at Get to the Bag Brunch. It's going to be amazing. We got Caleb and Glad. They're going to be showing you how to get funding, how to get all that business funding person as well. And then from there, we have speakers like myself. My wife's going to be speaking as well. We're going to show you how to flip that bag. So if you are in the New York area or the Tri-State area, that's somewhere you definitely want to go to. You can check out Caleb's or Glad's bios to get some tickets. I believe there's tickets left. I believe so. I'm not sure if there's tickets left. They are selling out fast, so you don't want to waste time. When you're done with this live, exit out of here, go to their page, and then from there get your tickets. And that's if you're in the Tri-State area. But and I know there's also a delay, Instagram and me talking. But if you guys have any questions, anything you guys want me to break down or speak about, we can do that right now. Because we 33 minutes into it, and I know I've been talking this whole time. But also appreciate you guys who have been here this whole time or just watched it in general. Or if you're on YouTube and you're watching this, I appreciate you taking the time out to do so as well. I'm doing this every Tuesday, Trade Talk Tuesday. Give you guys the rundown on the economy, give you guys my thoughts on it so you guys can either take advantage. But again, as I said, disclaimer, right? It's just entertainment purposes only. Don't act on any of these things without doing your own research. But you guys asking for my thoughts and I'll give it away. But yeah, any questions that you guys got? And in the meantime, I'm going to actually scroll through the chat to see what's going on. That's actually dope, though. The fact that you really sold your car, bro. That's amazing. But just to circle things back for those who are now just joining. So CPI numbers came out earlier this morning. Month-over-month is actually higher than expected. Year-over-year is higher than expected. And whenever we have data that comes out, economic data, whenever we have data and it's higher than expected, that right there is not a good sign. That's a bad thing, right? When these data comes out, you always want to make sure that the data shows that it's lower than expected. So let's say data comes out and it's like, it's expected to be, let's say unemployment, right? So every Thursday at 8:30 a.m. on Eastern Standard Time, we get unemployment numbers or unemployment claims. So let's say unemployment comes out and current claims is at, let's say, 220,000 people are expected to file for unemployment, right? 220,000. That's expected. If we get anything lower than that, that's good. Why? Because that means that we're lower than expectation. That means that, it's a good sign. If we get anything higher than that, even if it's 221,000, that's not good because it's higher than expected. Even if it's 219,000, right? That's less than 220,000. So that's a good thing. It's lower than expected. But yeah, it's a lot that's been going on today alone. We still got info tomorrow. Like PMI coming out tomorrow is going to be insane. I think it's going to be bearish. Right now, I'll go over more technicals tonight, but it looks like it's going to be bearish. So just be cautious of that as well. For you guys who are trading, and for you guys who are investing, again, like, don't look at your portfolio. Like, the best thing to do is, like, mute those notifications. Don't even look at it. Like, that right there is going to give you such an anxiety. Like, if you're investing for the long term, be in it for the long term, right? If you have these quality stocks that you believe in, hold on to it, right? That's your quality stock that you feel is going to, in the long term, be beneficial, right? So if current price is around like $100, right, and it dropped down to around like $80, right? Don't be too caught up. That's a lot, but don't be too caught up on that, right? Because you understand that, right? Currently we're at 80, but over time I think it's going to surpass 100 and get to like 150 and so forth. So that's where you want to go towards for value, and actually when you're investing. So that's a quick tip for you guys who are investing. Do not get caught up on the current price of your assets. You are going to go crazy. You are understand that the future is where you want to go towards, right? Perfect example is like, 2020, right? March 13th, we had a huge drop, right, in the stock market. However, a month later, right, stocks started rising back up. So understand that. Chris said, have you talked about what your top maybe 5 stocks you think people may want to play and to into right now? Yes. Well, I haven't spoke about that, but I mean, you guys, 5. Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Tesla. What's the 5th one I can give you guys? What did I just say? Microsoft, Apple, Tesla, Nvidia. What's a nice 5th one that I can give you guys? AMD. Those 5 you guys want to look at. I've been long in the dollar since May last year. Yeah, you're a swing trader. You're a swing trader, bro. It's cheating. So Drew said he's been long. Oh fuck! I didn't even say Google. Yeah. I'll definitely put Google above. Nah, Amazon's not my top 5. I'm wilding. Yeah, I missed out on a lot. Let me do that list over. Tesla's not my top 5. Tesla would be my 5th one. So I would be my mistake. So I would definitely do Apple is number 1 for me. That's my baby. I love Apple. Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and Nvidia. I'll put Nvidia over Tesla. Yeah, that was my mistake. So that'll be my top 5 recommendations. Again, that's not financial advice. All right, so Drew has said he's been long in the dollar since May of last year. Once the pin actually hits from layoffs and falls in production show, what happens to the safe haven currencies? 2008 is that. Yeah, that's true too. And that's why I think it'll be shit. But you have an early entry, bro. So it's like you've been in it since May of last year. If we go back to 2021 of May, you're looking at around. Yeah, bro, you're swinging. That's 89. We're currently at 110. The average individual is not a swing trader, so it's like that's different. And that's one thing as well. I definitely want to have you on here because Drew. Well, I'm gonna put it. I guess I could put you made a post about this, so I guess I could talk about this. So I remember Drew had a post up. I think like he was in gold from like 14 something, and I remember him showing me he was in gold. I think it was like 14, 15. I think the price of gold was around like. I think gold was like 17 something. So if you guys doing the math on that alone, like it's fucking insane. I think he had like 4 positions. He showed me that, and I was like, God fucking Lee, like, I'm not gonna put his money out there, but it was definitely a nice ass trade. But he's a swing trader, so that's different. So you have like swing traders, you have intraday traders, you have scalpers, and the main difference between each of us is the fact that like. It's a time frame, right? It's like a swing trader, they're in it for the long run, right? They're in it for days, weeks, months, sometimes even years. Like they're swinging, right? You have intraday traders, like they're in it for like just a day, right? They're not like the most they probably hold the trade to is maybe 2 or 3 days max, if that. And then you have scalpers, right? So scalpers, they're in and out, 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 right? They're in it from like, the minute time frame, 5 minute, right? Max, they're looking at like an hour time frame, and it just to make their quick money and get out of the market and so forth. So that's something that that I want you guys to look at or pay attention to. Like, it's different type of traders, different type of investors as well. Now, again, when it comes to investing, so a lot of people don't understand this, but investing is meant for the long run. So we've been spoiled with 2020, 2021, and then this year. We've been spoiled because like the markets have been like going crazy, but this isn't normal, right? So like normally like getting like 30% return or like even like 10% return, that takes time to get that. We've been getting that like month over month, but that's not normal. So again, like I do think that like things are starting to shift, and I think obviously 2020, which is with COVID and everything, that shifted things. So I think like what's going on now is like the new norm, right? So like we're no longer going to be seeing those things. So yeah, we are spoiled, but I think it's going to start happening into it. So let me read some things real quick. So let me ask you, since Amazon deals with logistics, transportation of goods, and some would say S&D to a certain extent, what's your question? Oh, would you say that they would have more impact on the economy than Google? Yes, yeah. So the thing about Google is that like Google has, for now, and I'm gonna talk about TikTok in a second. So Google now has a number 1 and number 2 search engines, right? Be it YouTube and Google. So more of our economy, I don't feel as if Google would affect more of our economy. Amazon does. I mean, honestly, Amazon is Amazon, right? So you have Amazon. It does more than just like obviously fast day deliveries or same day deliveries or overnight deliveries. That employing jobs from that aspect of it. Truckers. They need packages to ship. All those things deals with Amazon and helps our economy out. So yeah, they definitely have more of an impact on our economy than Google does. But back to what I was saying with TikTok. So I was actually looking at a study that 45% of Google's search engine was lost. I'm sorry, of Google's search engine was lost to TikTok. And it's crazy because like asking some people is like people actually go to TikTok for their search engine now. They don't go to Google no more. It's really crazy how things are starting to shift. But I don't use TikTok. I should use TikTok, but I mean the main reason why I don't use it is because of China, the whole security aspect. But in reality, I mean, people watch us regardless, so that's also not my excuse, really. Because, like, even America, like, the Patriot Act changed everything. We're no longer, we don't have security the way we feel we do. Big Brother's there for a reason. They're watching this. They're probably listening to my AirPods. They're probably watching my TV. They're probably listening to my computer, all that stuff. All right, hold on. Let me get some more comments. 1475 was the entry on that motherfucker back in late 2019. Swung that motherfucker with a few extra positions of the 2000. Oh my fucking God. What? Woo! I didn't know you held during the 2000, bro. I thought you got out like 18 something. God damn, man. What about, that's a hole, bro. Congrats, that. Congrats. Yeah, death requires patience. Hell yeah, man. Like all them shits. Yeah, that's a lot. TikTok has a lot of reach though. Yeah, that's the thing, and that's something. That's the main reason why I do want to get on TikTok, but I haven't because I understand like I'm still shadow banned on Instagram. I mean, it is what it is at this point, and then also too Instagram they make it which like for you to get your content seen more, you gotta do ads, and I'm banned. I can't even do ads right now. I'm in the process of now getting that removed, but I mean, as of the time of recording, I'm still banned from doing ads, so. I mean, and honestly, I should go to TikTok because, like, bro, what are you doing? Just makes more logical sense. I have a VA now, so hopefully I'll speak to my VA and have her put my content on TikTok. So, yeah, maybe I'll do that. If there was a way to track the trends of what's searched on TikTok like it is on Google, that'd be dope, which is an indicator of entrepreneurship purposes. Yeah, that's one thing as well, too. Like, we have so many entrepreneurs are starting to increase more and more, right? Because they also understand that, I mean, you need more money, right? So it's like recessions and down economies, this is where entrepreneurship thrive, right? All these great businesses were made during recessions, right? You're like the last one, Uber, Airbnb was made during, like, and think about what's going on now, right? Uber pretty much put the taxi out of business. Airbnb is putting the hotels out of business to an extent, not across the board though, but like these things as well. Not really, because Airbnb is starting to fuck up. But back to what I was saying though, so it's like when you have an increase of entrepreneurs, like what's going on now, that also shows us that we're not in actually good times. Because like if you I mean, it's problem solution, right? But if you need more entrepreneurship, if you need more side hustles, right? That means that your current job can no longer sustain your life because, you know, things are just increasing behind you. I mean, across the board. They may be, I have no fucking clue. I don't know what you was commenting to. But yeah, more questions, guys. More questions. Yeah, Drew, I'm definitely gonna, I got a call after this, and when that call is done, I'm gonna hit you. I think you're out behind anyway. I'm gonna hit you, bro. We gotta talk. We definitely gotta talk. I gotta get you on here. Like, facts. Yeah, I was waiting to track consumer purchase too. Much better than having to wait on that damn banking papers. Yeah, banking papers is outdated. And it's funny because, like, I feel like a lot of things is becoming more extinct, right? Like the things we go about doing stuff. Like COVID sped these things up, right? So things that were supposed to happen within the next 15 to 20 years, it's been happening within the next 7 or 5 years max, right? From 2020, yeah, now we're going to 2023. So like that right there is important because again, all these things were on track to happen, but COVID sped it up, right? So it sped up, technology has to be increased. All the depopulation, it is what it is. Depopulation, that's starting to increase as well. So all these things going on. And now, what happened to monkeypox? Like, I thought that was a thing. Damn. Well, that's not a good thing. Let me not speak about it as like a good thing. But yeah, man, like monkeypox was the next big thing. I thought we was going to have more stimulus checks and more loans and all that stuff. And man, I was going to take the market from that alone. I mean, we don't need monkeypox to take the economy. The economy going to take as it is. That's interesting. Thanks for that. What do you say? They have a creator, analytic area, and a profile. You may be able to track stuff. Now, trick track. TikTok is elite. TikTok is definitely elite. But yeah, any other questions, guys, before I hop off of this? Again, appreciate you guys for joining in. I had a request. Bless you. I had a request for someone to join. I don't think they're still here. Let me see. No. Oh, there goes that. But I know it's a delay on Instagram and from me actually speaking in real time. So I'm gonna give it like a few seconds. But if you guys got any questions, if y'all want to hop on, y'all can send a request. If you want to hop on for a little bit. Got any other question? Y'all want me to break down the markets, break down anything, or just talk in general? Y'all can do that. And again, I do appreciate everyone spending their time here with Trade Talk Tuesday. I actually really enjoy doing these things, man. And I'm going to stay more consistent and, put more content out as well. I'm stay consistent with that. So as I said, I do have a VA. So the great thing about having a VA now is the fact that I can do less things and let my VA do a lot of that other stuff. Like in reality, I can just be like, content wise, responding to emails, responding to, DMs and all that stuff as well. I don't like doing that, which is kind of backwards because I'm growing a business, right? But like, I want my VA to do that. I want to outsource those other things to people who they can do that. That can be their job to do. And I just go enjoy myself. I go enjoy my life, the fruits of my labor and so forth. That's what I really enjoy doing anyway. But all right, guys, that's it. If you guys on YouTube, I'm going to put all the information in the description below. Appreciate you guys' times. Until next Tuesday. Peace out.